Hey guys, and I'm back with another episode of Strike the Blood, episode 7. And in this episode we get to see that Kyoju is now fighting the Nakalvera. The Nakalvera from the last episode, the destruction, the civilization destroyer is now awake, and it is also because of our high school sweetheart, Asagi. She deciphered apparently the command codes for him, and after they learned about that, they just kind of released them to the Black Death Emperor organization faction. Just said, oh, we got the passcodes, let them loose. And that's exactly what happened here. Got loose and started blowing crap up. We also get to learn that Valtyr was helping that faction that he said he was going to fight, the terrorist faction. He was helping them get the Nakalvera to work because he wanted to fight the Nakalvera. Because he's a strong vampire and he got bored and he was like, man, I need something to do. And that's exactly what he did. He made himself an opponent. He wanted to fight it. And that was his whole gist on it. But in this case, Kyoju got to fight him instead because now the harem grows. The harem is growing. Sayaka, the other girl who started trying to kill him, now looking like she has feelings for him too. So the harem is growing. There's collectively becoming more girls surrounding Kyoji that maybe he can date. I haven't really read much into it, so it kind of feels like the source material came from a visual novel or perhaps a visual game, a dating sim. It looks like it came from a dating sim, which would kind of explain why we have a lot of these girls having feelings for him. Could be just the different routes you could take. I wouldn't say the quality dropped because it did not drop. It seems to be getting better, and I feel like as we're going along with this series, it's like improving itself. It's like, back in episode 3, I was like saying, man, they need some character build up for us to understand why these characters are doing the things they're doing, and now they're doing that. Yeah, I mean, it's like smoothing out all the rough edges we kind of saw earlier, kind of making it all even. Well, that's a nice feel to. It's a nice vibe. I'm getting a nice vibe from this series now. That it's constantly improving itself from its previous episodes. So probably next episode, what we're gonna see, they're probably gonna try to turn it off because I'm not sure if they can't just destroy it or not, or if they just don't want to destroy it because whatsoever. But it looks like they're gonna try to turn it off. They're gonna try to recommand it to turn off and go off and to do something else because it doesn't seem like it's like they're gonna find it out and kill it. They could probably kill it, but they're not. And it also just seems to be like a robot. Nakalvera just seems to be a robot that shoots lasers. So I don't know how I feel about that. It's kind of like being told there's like an ultimate boss, and then you find the boss, and it's like every other boss you've seen before. It's like, could have been a little bit more crazy. Could have been a little bit more, artsy. Could have been some, character designs we haven't seen before, instead of this kind of mech spider. So, while I wouldn't say it's like bad, at the same time, it doesn't really feel like a boss, man. I mean, it doesn't really feel like, something that could destroy like a town. It's just like a robot with eyeballs and backstory. So, yeah. My impression of this episode so far, we're basically increasing the harem, decreasing the fan service, there's fan service, it's just not making it as obvious as before, and increasing the backstory. So I kind of like this direction. I like where it's going. It's kind of becoming more of a and I like the action so far in this series as well. The action, so it looks good. I wouldn't say it looks great, but it looks good, and good is good for this, for just viewing purposes. Of course, it is. So that's my episode review of Strike the Blood episode 7. Good. We get to learn more about the characters, and possibly we will get to see maybe some of the other progenitors and vampires. I'm also curious how Valtyr is going to work out too, because he wants to fight this guy, fight the Nakalvera, but he can't. And if this Nakamura thing goes down, I'm assuming we're gonna beat it somehow. Heroes always win, so eventually it's gonna go down. Like, what is gonna be next? What is gonna be next after this? And is it gonna be a progenitor? Is it gonna be about him transforming? I wanna know more about how they're trying to shape him, because you heard before the Lion King organization was trying to kind of raise Kyoju to be their, like, a certain way, and I'm wondering how that's, like, gonna work out through the series, and if we're gonna see hints of that. If we're gonna see hints of it, like, every other episode. We're gonna see hints that they're pushing him towards a direction, and at some point, maybe he's gonna have to make a choice. He's gonna have to make a choice on what kind of person he wants to be, maybe who he wants to save, who he wants to be a part of, as that. And that could be really good to see. That could be a really great tipping point for this series. A critical point when he has to decide, is he going to save Yukina? Or maybe is he going to, stick with, protecting everybody and everyone, So that could be a dynamic that could be explored a bit more as we go along in this series. Alright, episode 8.